All right, good, fabulous November morning here, guys. So, we got a live action opportunity to change the tire. We were just coming down the 4 lanes here, and the tire started flopping. It doesn't look like it is completely flat, but on the inside we've got some loose rubber. So we're gonna go ahead and switch this bad Larry out for another tire. So we actually get a live action opportunity to do a tire change. I was gonna plan this for when I don't know, for a next video idea, but here we are. So this is how to change a tire. We're gonna start by putting on our goodies. And y'all bear with me, I am doing this, live on the side of the road, so bear with the background noise and everything else. So the next thing we're gonna do is pull all our equipment out of the trunk. All right, guys, so we pulled our tire change equipment out here, and I wanted to go ahead and take a minute to point out a couple of differences. So number one, this is your donut. Now, it's okay if the donut's what you got. It's even better, though, if you go ahead, whenever you go to get a new tire, and go ahead and purchase a new rim and a full-size spare. This makes a whole lot of difference, and it can really extend the distance you can go, because the donut is only rated for so many miles. Certainly, you can get more out of it than they rate it for. However, a full-treaded, full-size spare is just the way to go. It's not that much. I think I maybe paid maybe $170 to add this one to the trunk. Small price to pay. Since it's a weekend, I don't have to worry about getting into a tire shop or anything. We can just put that on and keep on rolling. It won't match the rims, unfortunately, but that's okay. Another thing, people let a flat tire ruin their entire day. And you can let it ruin your entire day too, or not. You get to choose. You get to choose to be happy. You get to choose to see this as a good thing. You get to practice a skill. You get to be outside in this gorgeous nature. You get to take a break and have a moment to yourself from whatever you are going to do, wherever you're coming from or going to. Unless you're late for court, which I hope you're not. It just doesn't have to ruin your day. So, I rolled this one out just to show you. We're going to put him away. I went ahead and got our first set of blocks up. When the tire gets on top of that one, we should have enough to get the jack under. If not, we've got plenty to keep spacing her out. So I'm going to pull the car forward and let you guys take a gander at the next step in this process. All right, guys, so we actually had to move. I wasn't able to get enough traction on grass. This is my first time ever doing it on a nice flat surface. It's always terrible on the side of the road at an incline like that, but we weren't able to get enough traction on the grass, so all I did was move over a bit to the sandy portion of the ground here. So we're able to get up here, and now as you can see on the back, we've got plenty of space to get that big jack under. So the next step is we're going to slide the jack under, and I'll show you what to do from there. All right, guys, so we're up under the car now, and we've gone around to the back side. So what are you looking for to jack, or to put the jack up against? Right here, basically you're looking for anything metal that is also a portion of the frame. On this particular part, on this particular Toyota, the best way to go is, you can see the wear marks from previous times we've done this. It's right here. We're gonna twist the jack out, get it set, give us all the height we can get. We're gonna come down here, and all we're gonna do is make sure it's set, because we're not gonna start jacking it up just yet. There's one more step. All right, so we've got our jack set. Now, we need to break loose the lugs. All we're doing is we're taking the initial tension off of the lugs. That's this part right here. And if you could imagine, if you have it up off the ground and the tire is spinning freely, you won't be able to break loose the lugs there. So before you commence jacking, once you've got it set, you're gonna break them loose like so. This is an excellent time to show the cheater bar I was talking about. Now, because of the leverage this tool has, I was able to loosen all 5 of those relatively easily. But let's say you didn't have this tool, just a metal pipe, something that isn't going to break, and you're just going to come in like so. And all this does, the cheater bar, is it increases your leverage. And allow you to gain some mechanical advantage. So the next step is we're going to go back under the back and we're going to jack the car up. All right, guys, so here we go. And basically we're just going to lift the vehicle until this tire over here is loose from the ground. So there's enough space to allow us to take it off and put a new one on. I'm going to save you guys a little bit of the work here. All right, guys, so you can see we've jacked it up far enough and taken the blocks out. We can go up under the tire. Okay. Now all we're gonna do is take the lugs off. We're gonna keep them all in one place, and you wanna keep the threads up out of the dirt. So maybe for this case, we'll go right there. Same thing. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. All right, guys, so I'm gonna pause it and knock these last 3 off, and I'll pick it back up. All right, guys, I was hoping that it might do it, but it didn't. When you get the lugs off, should the tire still be stuck in position, it is perfectly acceptable to give it a kick to break it loose. This one came loose on its own, but just know if you've gotten all 5 lugs off, or ever how many lugs your tire has, and it's stuck, it's perfectly acceptable to kick it along the rim, like that, to break it loose. So now we're just gonna pull this guy off. Yep, there we go right there. We got some damage to the tire. We're gonna wheel that one off. And we're gonna wheel the new one on. Pretty straightforward. So, we get here and we're like, which side is out? Well, on the tire, it will say outside somewhere if you are truly unsure. Let's see if we can find it. All right, I retract that. It does not say outside anywhere on this particular tire. So, the way you're gonna know is the valve stem here where we put in air into the tire is gonna be on the outside. Also the weight. So, I would tell you, go off your valve here, and that is gonna go to the outside. So all I've done, I regret doing it off camera, but I just lifted up and I sat the 5 holes over the 5 bolts. You should be able to move everything around and kind of wiggle it into position. But once it's there, all we're gonna do is start putting our lugs back on. And we're gonna go sort of across. So if we put one here, the next one's gonna go here. We're not gonna go in a circle. We're just gonna go across the best we can. And you can see that we've gone hand tight here while we put these last ones on. Someone is probably going to ask, what in the world is this? In the bottom of the trunk, there's some sort of rhino liner or something where the spare tire goes, and this is just stuck to it. There's nothing of importance, though. We will clean this up so we don't leave any trash where we stopped. All right, guys, so now we've got the 5 lugs back on hand tight. The next step is to tighten them with your lug wrench. So whether it looks like this or it's a cross shape and it doesn't change anything, we're just gonna give it a little tight while we can. I've pinned the tire here with my knee. That one had a lot of slack, huh? There we go. So now we're gonna go around back to the back of the vehicle. We're gonna let the jack down. And once the weight has come back down on the tire and the tire is back on the ground, we're gonna give these lugs a final tighten. All right, so we're back down here. We're gonna, very simply, we're just gonna pull from right here. There's a notched in right here. And on the bottom of the jack, there is a T-shaped little cover. You're going to place it on it, and you're going to make sure you are out from under the car. Give it a slight turn, and slowly, less than you think, slight turn, and slowly let the car come down. Again, make sure you are out from under the car. Wonderful. All right, we're going to close that valve back. I'm going to reach up under here. If it doesn't pull free on its own, we're going to turn this right here to lower it. And if that doesn't work, you can give it a good kick or a hit with something to break it loose. All right, guys, so that's it. The jack came out. As a note, I thought about this. If you're unable to get the jack out from under the car, it's acceptable to just raise the jack back up and put some of your boards up under the tire to give you some additional standoff in case you needed to, maybe you were on concrete or something and you needed the extra little bit of help to get the jack out. Mine came out, no worries, but just in case yours didn't, that's something you can do. It's always an adventure every time you change a tire, and you'll learn something new every time, no matter how many times you do it. So now, we're just gonna give our lug nuts a final tighten. With something with this much leverage, we're gonna be careful not to over tighten them, because we can absolutely break them off. Again, being careful not to over tighten. They need to be on, but not overly tight so that you don't shear the bolt off. It's absolutely possible, particularly when you have this much leverage. Guys, that took less than 20 minutes. I think we're probably around 15, 16 minutes on the video. couple of minutes, moving things around for the shots and turning the camera on and off. You'll also notice this tire is a little less inflated than the tire that came off. Well, this tire was filled up in the summertime and it is now wintertime, so the tire pressure is different. The air pressure is different. So what we need to do now is we need to stop. I have an air compressor at home, but if you didn't, you could stop at a gas station and use your tire gauge or the gauge on the air machine there to air up your tire a bit and get you back to the appropriate PSI so you're not wearing the tire incorrectly. That is changing a tire, my guys. I had fun, and I hope you learned something. Build your breakdown kit, because they happen. They happen in the least convenient times. Today was a pretty convenient occasion, but it might not be for you.